Hi, and welcome to That's the V. I know we've been gone for a couple weeks now, but we have some cool things in the works. I guess I have for you all. I say we because we're a community, but today's episode is about what is That's the V. And that's what I really want to focus on going forward. Like, what is fashion? What is the Met Gala? What is like all the fashion things? So today being a What's That's the V episode, I invited a very special man in my life. I invited someone that motivated me to start this podcast. And here he is.
Hello. Thank you for having me on the podcast today.
This is my manager, my sponsor, boyfriend, all the things.
All the things.
And well, I really wanted to bring you on to the pod. Usually you're behind the scenes of everything
Always behind the scenes.
since day one. But to talk about why you wanted me to start this, why did you think this was a good idea?
Well, we spent a lot of time together and you'd always share different things about that's happening in the fashion industry, whether it be new designers, new brands, different runway shows, different collaborations. And me myself, being in South Florida, in the Miami area, for 16 years, and before I met you, I was actually living in Miami Design District. So I considered myself pretty knowledgeable in the fashion industry and things that were happening, um, but never did I ever interact with someone that just knew so much about everything that there is in the fashion world from every single angle, but also not just knowing what currently is going on, but also being able to tie it to like history, like the history of fashion. You also know and you're passionate about, and you tie it all together. And I always found it like really interesting. And I mean, I was so glad that you'd share this fashion knowledge with me, but I felt like others needed to hear it too because I asked you, how many fashion podcasts are out there, and you shared with me that there wasn't that many. So I figured, well, you got to do this. You got to share all this great, wonderful fashion knowledge that you have with the rest of the world and not just me.
You wanted to exploit my talents.
Maybe a little bit.
I told him to say all that. No, I didn't. We didn't practice this at all.
No practice.
So I feel like, I mean, when That's the V first started back in January, which is crazy, it's now May. I think I was kind of like throwing myself out there, kind of like, what's the word? Like just what do you call when you don't know what you're doing and you just do
Oh,
it?
you're like throwing, like seeing what sticks at the wall. You're just throwing
Yeah,
it out there
yeah.
and seeing what sticks. Well, I mean, that's fair because just so your audience knows that, you know, yes, I encouraged you and kind of pushed you along to start this podcast journey. But I kind of sprung it on you
Mhm.
because one day I was like, hey, I got the domain. Hey, I got you a logo. Hey. And,
You
I was kind of working without you even knowing I was doing these things. It just be
Mhm.
like, because I really was hoping that me helping you get started would get you going to get it started,
You
which it did. But in your mind, you're probably like, okay, this is something more down the road that I'll do. And me, no, I was like, no, this is something like now you should
Yeah.
start doing. There's no reason to wait.
You literally like forced me.
In a way, I did, but I did it for the greater good for
No,
everyone to
no, I
know.
will say this, if you ever want to start a podcast, I think it's just doing it and like getting better at talking to people and getting better at communicating in front of the camera. I feel like I'm so much more comfortable now than how I was in the beginning.
Mhm.
So I will say that's a pro, but um, I feel like I was kind of, yes, sharing knowledge that I have from the fashion industry, because I feel like you think I know a lot, but I know that I don't know like everything. And I know there's so much more research to be done, but the deeper I get into this fashion podcast journey, the more I feel like I'm educating myself and trying to grow what I hope to be like a very knowledgeable fashion community, not just talking about like, I don't know, like
Well, I mean, absolutely. I think this definitely inspired you to get even further knowledgeable in the fashion world and the history of it. But it wasn't even the knowledge itself, which was already impressive. What I liked hearing about you sharing all the fashion news and industry things with me was the perspective that you had about what was going on, because you've you're in the fashion world in so many different perspectives and so many different angles. You have a different lens of how things are, just because you are a model, but you're like an editorial model, you're a fashion model, you're a lifestyle model, you're a runway model, you're
mhm,
also a photographer, you're also a stylist, you also put on runway shows. So you know what it takes to be good in all those different things, which is in so many, like, 360 view of what goes on in the fashion world. And I think just being able to have that perspective from everything and all those different angles, you can appreciate more why photographers do something a certain way. You can appreciate how models are walking on the runway at different shows. You can appreciate the angles that someone gets in an editorial shoot for someone, because and the model even in itself, like the collaboration, because you've been in that in your own shoes, so you really know what it takes to be good at all those things, which is impressive because it's hard enough to be
mhm.
good at one of those things, but you're great at everything. So that's what makes it very cool to hear about everything that you share about the fashion industry.
That's why you love me.
Claro.
No, I feel like I don't think about that. Like I always thought about it as like the eye that's looking out from outside in, never from like my perspective. I feel like I try to talk about things for people to really relate to it and like understand it, no matter like who you are. But if you're interested in fashion, I want you to listen and find out. But you have a point, and that's true. I mean, I feel like I gathered all this knowledge from personal experiences, but also from people that I've met through all these journeys of being a model, photographer, stylist, etc. Going to New York, coming back to Texas, going to New Mexico.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. I mean, you have over 10 years of modeling experience, not only just modeling, but actually being a model coach, teaching what it takes to be a model, and experiencing the world of New York Fashion Week, experiencing a totally different world of Native Fashion Week in Santa Fe. It's,
Mhm,
it's, you're, um, you're very diverse in the
mhm,
type of work in your portfolio and what you do and all the different aspects. You don't really stick with one genre too much. You just go with what is passionate for you,
mhm.
and all those different collaborations with working with all those different types of people and the different type of style and fashion that they have. I think it's really great for you to have absorbed all that and to be able to talk about it.
I just want to do all the things,
Yes, yes, you do.
all the fashion
Yes.
things. But with that being said, for you being someone that's not necessarily in fashion but likes the fashion, what is something that like you found interesting? Either I know like by me, but just in general, like why do you like fashion? Like what is attractive to you? Because I have met people out there, they do exist, where like they don't care what they wear, they don't care what brand it is or anything. And I feel like I was attracted to you because you knew how to put yourself together, but you also knew certain brands that you liked, and even from like videos you watch on YouTube, what they're wearing, these like sports related athletes or influencers or YouTubers.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely say that fashion really interests me because it's a very personal statement piece of what you put on. And what you put on, I feel like for me personally, really puts me in a character of
Mhm.
what I want to be, of how I want to present myself when I'm out there in the world. I think it says a lot about you. It says a lot about your character and the way you go about things in your life. And I definitely was inspired to get in to learn about fashion and the fashion industry because of professional athletes. I mean, definitely, I've always really liked the style of Cristiano Ronaldo, but then I started getting more into like streetwear knowledge with brands such as Off White and Belong. Those are things that I learned about because of professional athletes wearing them and just following them on their Instagram. Um, and I just liked how that style was very it was like aggressive in the zone. It was very like edgy. I
Intentional.
I like intentional edgy. I do really like fashion, and I like the higher end brands and stuff are is really nice. Like Prada's really nice. I
Mhm.
like Prada a lot because their style is very minimalistic.
Mm.
And I do like minimalistic in the more luxury end of fashion. But, like I said, when you put on your clothes, it's about your personality, what kind of who you're trying to be in your character, and sometimes a little more these different other what luxury brands are, but street style gives it a little bit more edge that I personally like, and it's like a fun twist on things, but on the higher end.
I mean, your t-shirt says it all.
I mean, exactly, right? I
Like
mean,
it's
it's
Dior is a high-end brand,
yes,
but then you get like t-shirts like these.
right. It's not going to be just standard
Mhm.
Dior written, very clear. I love this
Take
kind of
on it.
little. This is like Nightmare Before Christmas
Mhm. Yeah.
vibes for
Yeah.
me. So I love that. It's like Dior's collaboration with Nightmare Before Christmas, like
Yeah.
things like that,
Yeah.
edgy. I like that.
I like that. I love that you've made it your own. And I feel like a very important topic that I want to focus on later in another episode, but maybe can touch base now, is how big the sports industries or industry has been collaborating with fashion houses. Even like with basketball, I feel like I see it a lot, even sponsorship wise, not necessarily high end houses, but I've been seeing like Skims from Kim Kardashian being a sponsor on the court. I don't even know like which team, which city, but when you're watching, I kind of see
Yes, I
things like
believe
that.
Skims is an official partner of the NBA. Now that's
Oh, really?
yeah,
Like in
it's
general, all.
yeah,
Oh, cool.
yes, that's about I mean, from what I know, I think it's relatively new.
Hmm.
It's definitely I feel like within the last 3 years it was announced, so
Yeah.
it is new. But I mean, with professional athletes, I mean, some of my favorite athletes that I like of their style are well more on the more classier end as Cristiano Ronaldo,
Hmm.
but more on the edgier side, um, I like CD Lamb, David Beckham. I like his style a lot. Justin Jefferson, he has great style. Dwayne Wade, I can't leave out Dwayne Wade. He has great style. Miami Heat, so he's got that Miami flair that I like a lot. But I mean, the whole walkway of the athlete from the bus to the locker room on game days has become a runway fashion show now. I mean, it's a competition out there between the
Mhm.
players. And, they all, even within their own teams, there are athletes now that inspire to be the best dressed on their team, the most fashionable, and they want to work with brands. I mean, Justin Jefferson was at Met Gala. He's a wide receiver for Minnesota Vikings, and he was at the Met Gala this year.
That is crazy to me. I mean, like, I'm not
And it was the second time. It was the second year.
for the Met Gala.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know who he was wearing?
It was a. And just watched a YouTube video
Ugh,
of this, and I
come
can't
on.
remember the name, but it's a fashion brand that has been attendance at the Met Gala, but they're relatively newer. But they are on the edgier side. So he wore a suit that did have the shoulder pads cut, and they did the unstitching on purpose to show like different layers that go
Mm,
into a suit. But it kind of like had the football theme as he's a football player, which
mm.
was like a nice mix of both worlds, which was kind of cool.
And that is so interesting to me because I feel like now more than ever, I've seen more fashion houses be interested in sponsoring athletes. While I don't know, even 10 years ago, that wasn't such big of a thing.
Well, I would say, I mean, now these days compared to 10 years ago, especially with social media,
Mhm.
and I mean, these athletes have tens of millions of followers. So
Mhm.
for a fashion brand who's trying to be up and coming, or if you get to work with one of these athletes and you're featured on their profile on Instagram, you're going to get thousands, if not millions of hits just from that. And
No, it,
so,
it makes so much
which
sense.
is really cool because I think there's a lot of fashion brands that wouldn't have any chance of gaining exposure, any chance of really getting seen, appreciated in the classic fashion world, shall we say, to break into, which is so hard. But if you are able to collaborate with an athlete, it can really jumpstart a fashion brand tremendously. And I think that's pretty cool.
Well, I even see athletes, like you say, getting their interest on what brands they want to wear and not just getting sponsored, but just their personal style that they're putting themselves out there because they know they're being viewed and followed. And I feel like not every athlete is like that, but I will say it's becoming more and more common as it becomes more popular, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
Talking about like sports, I feel like the biggest one of the biggest brands that combine these two worlds together. And I heard a podcast about it recently, but how when Ralph Lauren, I feel like that was a brand back in early 50s, 60s, but like his whole entire kind of motive to design was never for him to be like a so-called designer and be famous and have all this following that he has now and be a high-end like designer per se, because he also has like a lot of casual wear. He has like polos. Everyone knows Ralph Lauren because of the polos, but everything he designed was very much to be intentionally used. Like he wanted his designs to be used out in the world, like doing sports, doing like fishing. Like he literally came out with clothes that you can wear doing things outdoors. So he was like one of the first ones that wanted to break into that, but now I don't think you have to like even as an athlete, your clothes doesn't have to be something that you're like wearing obviously on the court that's gonna like define the brand or even like what you like. Obviously different sports have different uniforms that help them do whatever sport they're doing. But it just reminded me talking about like sports and fashion how Ralph Lauren wanted to do
See,
something like
I had
that.
no idea about that.
Yeah, fun fact.
Another fashion fun fact. This is
Yeah.
why I encourage you to start the podcast.
So yes, that's, I mean, a little bit of like our conversations. I feel like when we talk about fashion and how you like help me think about these things. When I talk to you and I tell you an idea that I want to talk about on the pod, I'm always like, I like low key run it by you, even if you don't know. But I'll be like, I'm gonna tell him about this thing that I saw with the Met Gala or whatever, and see if it's interesting enough for him, then it's probably interesting enough for the world.
Yes, I'm the guinea pig. You test the things out with me.
Yeah,
I'm,
very much so.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky like that.
You get to hear everything first
Yes.
before it
The
goes.
sneak peek.
So, I mean, you're gonna get like random messages of people like,
What's coming up
what
next?
is happening?
What is she talking about now?
But with that being said, I feel like, I mean, that's a little bit of that's the be and how it came to be. Oh, I'm rhyming. It's gonna become a rap. Athletes make me think of rap, so my brain thinks of that right now. But yeah.
Rappers are another huge group that
Oh
are in the
yeah.
fashion industry.
That's like also so, I feel like, connected but disconnected at the same time. Like they have their own fashion world, but they're still wearing all these very popular brands, like Louis Vuitton, for example. I can think of that.
Yes.
But that's another thing with uh, high fashion houses. I think, I mean, there's these brands that everybody knows and talks about, and I feel like because of rappers, athletes, and more of like whatever anybody's watching, it's like what they're wearing is what becomes popular. And I think that's why Dior, Prada, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, they're all high fashion houses, but they're also so, I feel, common in a way. Like if even if you're not in fashion, you know what they are. But then there's these, even, I wouldn't say like higher end, but
I mean, I didn't know about Balenciaga.
mm,
I didn't know about Margiela.
mm-hmm.
I didn't know about Bottega.
How did you find out about these?
Rappers and their
Exactly.
songs?
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what I mean. Like because of them, I feel like more and more of the common public know about them, but there's brands that nobody talks about and designers like Schiaparelli. Like I mean, if you know, you know. If you're in the fashion industry, I feel like you know, but I know that you didn't know who Schiaparelli was.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
That's just one example. I know like Zach Posen too. Do you know who Zach Posen is?
I don't think so. No.
You're gonna love this because we left Gap. So Zach Posen designs for, currently he's like the creative director of Gap, but he is his own brand and his own design, and he started doing like gowns, high end gowns, and he's been years and years in the industry. But yeah, Gap. That's why Gap is so good right now because of Zach Posen.
Gap is pretty good right now. So if you haven't gone to a Gap store, I recommend you do because they're doing some good stuff right now.
We love Gap. Sponsor Zach Posen.
If you hear us, we're looking for additional sponsors.
But were you gonna say something? I thought you were gonna say. I feel like I interrupted you with like designers that are not that common.
Yeah, I was thinking of some other ones, and I know there's more, but it's harder to think about it when you're on the spot sometimes. But like Alexander Wang is another one that I didn't know about.
That's a good one. How did you find out about?
I mean, Off-White.
Well, I was really surprised when you told me about Virgil Abloh,
yeah.
and I was like, this man was. I love him. you know, some fashion stuff. Like that's one of the things I like about us, that I get to talk about fashion, and you do understand it. And if you don't, you let me like explain it to you and show you like
Yeah, like even it's weird. I do like keeping up with the I always did like keeping up with the brands and everything. Like even knowing about Miu Miu, you know?
yeah.
And
And
like that's like like I don't shop
I
there, but
did
I did know about that.
um I think I told you about how like Prada Miu Miu is from the same designer.
Right. Right.
Mhm, mhm.
Mhm.
It's like the coolest thing finding all these, because it's also like things that I'm learning and I like sharing. And I mean that's something that I learned recently. So if you didn't know, Miu Miu is from Prada, same designer.
Another fashion fun fact.
Another fashion fun fact. And so on. That's what this podcast is meant to be. Very much fashion fun facts, but educating people on like what is Miu Miu. Ooh, that's gonna be one episode.
That's actually a good one.
And so on. There's so many. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today and talking about a little bit about how that's the V, and how we made it happen, and how you motivated me. And I'm just hoping to re-release this and get like a better focus topic on each episode for everyone to enjoy and learn. And if anybody wants to know about like a specific topic, I'll do the research and talk about it here. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, no, I would say yeah, drop in the comments, send DMs. What fashion news, what fashion trends, what fashion advice would you like to get out of this podcast? Because we'd like to know.
Yeah, I'm here for you. And apparently Alex is too.
I'm in this as well.
Anyway, stay tuned for the next episodes. And that's the V.
Cheers. Let's cheers.
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 Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to follow at That's the V podcast on all platforms for more fashion content. And a big thank you to our sponsor, JAG Premier Advertising Agency. If you're looking to get on platforms like Hulu or Netflix, check out the link in the description.